Okay, small disclaimer. I don't take any responsibility if anything goes wrong, but to be honest, it was not an easy job, but it got it done. But I'm sure the video will help you. But throughout the video, I'll be posting these small clips on tips I didn't say in the video, so just keep an eye out on those. Alright, so today we're going to remove the cluster of the RSX. We're going to swap out the LEDs with the white LEDs. Hopefully I don't mess it up because this is my first time doing it. So let's see what happens. Alright, let's jump right in. Okay, so we're going to be removing this whole thing. So the first thing you got to do is, well, for me, I have this wideband. So I'll just remove this cover. Probably have to unplug those wires, so I'll do that right now. Alright, so for the first tip, you should unplug your battery so nothing goes wrong. Anything you do electrical wise with the car, you should always remove the battery. Just kidding, I'm just gonna move it to the side. Alright, so we have to go underneath. There are 3 screws you need to remove. There is 1, 2, and 3. So let's remove that. Alright, so now we just gotta pop this cover out. Careful, don't break the clips, which I didn't break. Okay, that's good. Right there. Pull this lever down, and this bottom piece should come out. Like that. Down the ground. Alright, so now you go underneath, and let me get a light. 2 screws you need to remove. It's gonna be that one up there, and then same thing on the other side, right over, where is it? Right over there. It's out of focus, I can't focus with one hand. It's over there, right there. Okay, and where you just remove those screws, you can pry out the cluster. I don't know if I can't do this with 2 hands. Alright, so if I can point this. So what you want to do is that right there, you're going to pry it out this way, so it's going to push out the cluster. Alright, so now you can just remove the cluster. Actually, if you have like a small suction cup like this, you can stick it to the glass and it's so much easier to take out. And behind the cluster there are 2 harnesses, one over here and one on the other side. Alright, now towards the back of the cluster there are 2 screws, I believe. One over here, one over here. Remove those, and then just be careful with these clips. Just pry it off and the back part should come off. Alright, so we got the cover off. It's over there. Another thing I forgot to tell you is in the beginning of this whole process you should have a full tank of gas. I read on the forums that saying that you need to do that because it just recalibrates everything when you put everything back together. So I did that this morning. Alright, so the first step is to pop off these covers. So you want a flathead, not bad. Be careful with this, try not to break anything. So just pop it up. Alright, in the back there are a couple of these small gold screws in the back. You just remove them and you can take this back piece off. Alright, so I removed these 3 already. So, for example, for this one, you gotta be careful with this. You gotta get your 2 screwdrivers. You can get one side, just try to pry it underneath a little bit. Some of that. Just work your way around it. Should lift it up a bit. Now when you got some gap on both sides, use 2 screwdrivers and pry it up. There you go. So now it should just come right off. Okay, second thing is those little circles with the gold and black. During the whole process where I'm testing out the lights and everything, I was able to just grab it with my fingers and pop it out. But just to be safe, I'd say use 2 screwdrivers and pry it evenly on both sides. Now this whole front face should just come out. and it's off. Alright, now there are 2, 4, 6, 8 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I already moved these, so I'm just gonna remove the last 2. Honestly, I'm just winging it. I wish I had pictures on the forum so I can follow it, but it's not. Those pictures aren't working right now. Try to keep everything organized by screws and by needles. I'm not sure if that makes a difference, but better safe than sorry. So we gotta remove this last screw. Alright. Come on. Come on, I know you want to come out. Oh my god. Come on. Alright. And these little motors, you just put to the side. Keep everything organized. Alright, once you have that, you should be able to remove this front piece from the back. Now on the back, there is this little harness. I'm gonna try to unplug this carefully. I really don't want to break anything right now. Honestly, I think I can even... Yeah, I'll just do that. I'll just work on it like this. Keep this like that. So yeah, you don't have to unplug that harness. So now that you have everything all apart, you can use this cover as a guide to see which LEDs light up which gauge. So for me, I'm probably gonna keep some reds, but I'm just gonna go with the red and white theme. So here we go. Alright, so while my soldering iron warms up, let me turn off the music. Here is the replacement LEDs I'll be using. I got this from a website. I'll probably put the link in the description so you can get it. You gotta find a pair of tweezers. Okay, so this part in the video, I had trouble removing the actual LEDs from the circuit board, but I found this video which I'll put in the description. It helped me out a lot to remove that existing solder from the circuit board. You would get a piece of wire, strip off the ends, and then you would dip it inside this thing called flux. Pretty much sucks, it was weird, I don't know how to explain it, but it sucks in the solder in the direction of the flux. So when you melt the solder and you put a wire with flux on it, it absorbs the melted solder, so it's easy to get the existing solder off, and then you can just remove the LEDs freely. Alright, so here goes nothing. So this one I'm going to be removing is the turning signal one. Let's see if I can do this. Oh god, I need a steady hand for this. Oh, I'm shaking. This part, when I'm putting the actual LEDs, the new LEDs on, what I would do is I would melt some solder onto one side of the two connecting points. So I'll melt it on there, and then I'll get the actual LED, put it over there, melt the solder again so it binds. Then I'll get my soldering wire again on the other side and just melt it and just connect the points. Also, make sure that the actual solder is touching the metal connector points on the LEDs. You'll see it if you buy a set. Alright, so small update. It took me a couple hours to do this, but it's actually not too bad. It's a lot of trial and error if you do it for the first time, but since I have this video for you guys, it should be a lot easier. You just get your soldering iron, and for example, let's go with this one. You would heat up the two spots over here and then just take it off with a pair of tweezers. And then you put your new color on. So for me, I use, these are actually, they look yellow, but they're actually white. And these are polar sensitive, so you want to put the ground. So the ones, you see how these ones go up and down? And for example, this one over here goes left and right. For the ones going up and down, you want your ground to be on the bottom and positive on top. And to test that, you can use a multimeter like this. Let me focus that. I really don't know how to use this, but put in this, put in 200, and then black prong. So to test it, you would get your black prong, put it on the bottom, and get your positive, put on top, and it should light up. See that? When I first did it, it was pretty much all flipped upside down, so when I test fit it in the car, nothing was turning on. But yeah, the ones going up and down, ground is going to be in the bottom. If it doesn't, if it is flipped over, then it will be like this. It won't even turn on. And the ones on the right and left side, the ones that go left and right, your ground will be on the right and your positive will be on the left. See that? So that's that. Now we just have to put everything back together and it should be all set. Okay, so this part in the video, after you get all your LEDs on, you want to put everything back together besides the actual glass piece. Run to your car, plug it in, see if all the lights turn on. If it doesn't turn on, that means either you have a bad connection or the LED is like defective, but most likely it's a bad connection. So once everything's on besides the glass part, you would do a calibration sweep thing, which I'll put in the description. It actually helped me a lot. You would let the needles, what it does is it lets the needles do a full run, so it goes from the lowest point what it should be to the highest point. Let it do its full sweep, and then now you would put the little gold circles, it's like a half gold, half black. Put those on to the lowest point after it does a full sweep. Put it on this lowest point. Like for example, the RPMs. The lowest point should be, how do I say this? Yeah. So the lowest point should be going down. When it does a full sweep, the motors will turn all the way up, down. So when it's down, put the gold piece, the gold and black circle piece on, and make sure it's facing down. Now you would do it with all 4 needles. Now for the gas and the coolant temp, it's the same thing. You're going to do the sweep and you're going to put it at its lowest point after it finishes the sweep. But it's not going to be the lowest point below the E or below the C. It's going to be like right at the C, if you know what I mean. You'll see once you take it apart. So you let it do its sweep. Once you get to the lowest point, put the gold circle black piece on. And there goes my dog. Now you do the test sweep again. Everything should go up and down on what it should be. Now you put your needles on. Test it again. If I were you, just keep testing it. It took me, not even joking, like probably 7 hours of trial and error. But everything's good now. Everything's good. I thought I had to buy a new cluster, but thank God. Honestly, I thought I shorted something out, but we're good. So once everything's calibrated, everything's good, you can remove the cluster from the car and put everything back together and put it back in the car, and you should be set. Alright, well here's an update on what the lights look like once it's done. Sorry, my wideband's in the way, but it looks pretty good. The only other thing I changed is the hazards, but I was still trying to stick with the white and red theme. So like everything you see that's red, I just kept red. So yes, I hope this video helped. Trust me, it's not an easy process. I mean, it might be easy for you if you do everything I said in the video, but me doing it for the first time, it was definitely not easy. And plus, since all the pictures on Clubrsx was down due to PhotoBucket's new policy, whatever it is, that definitely didn't help me. But if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, whatever YouTubers say, you know the deal. Thank you.